Barbarian. This movie. Okay, so without getting into too many spoilers, because this movie does seem to rely a lot on things going on that are not listed in the not shown in the trailer, which is always appreciated. So I'm gonna try to do my best to not spoil anything about this. So I'm just gonna say the plot of the movie is about a woman who rents an Airbnb. She's got a job interview, so she rents an Airbnb in Detroit, in a suburb of Detroit, a particularly bad neighborhood of Detroit. And she runs into a problem, and the house that she rents is not exactly what it appears to be. So that's all I'll really say as far as the story specifically, but I'll talk in a lot of vague things right now. This movie was a tough one because it really is like a big sort of Jekyll and Hyde type movie for me, which is there are some things in this movie it does phenomenally well, and then there are other things that it does equally poor. And so it really makes it difficult kind of evaluating it in a way because of the fact that there are moments in this movie where it really is able to utilize an excellent sense of tension and suspense and atmosphere. The performances are all fantastic. The setups, it does not rely on jump scares. I mean, there's a few here and there, but for the most part, it doesn't really rely on a lot of jump scares and music cues. Instead, it takes its time and it's really methodical in the way it kind of lays everything out. That's the good stuff. The bad stuff is there are moments in the movie that are so stupid that it undercuts the tension and make it essentially just completely go away. And it makes sort of story choices and character beats occasionally really make you scratch your head as to what on earth someone was thinking when they wrote this. And that seems really harsh, and I don't mean it to be super harsh like that, because at the end of the day, the movie is better than a normal sort of average horror movie that you would see out of Blumhouse, where it's basically just a bunch of hot people getting music cues and jump scares. This is definitely well thought out. It's well performed. It has some interesting story twists, and there's definitely some really good things about it. And sort of the way it tells its story is a little strange and sort of segmented in how it does it. But there are too many moments in this movie where I thought, man, that was not a good choice. And not necessarily like, you watch a lot of horror movies where, characters will make bad choices and that obviously results in a problem. And you certainly watch a lot of horror movies, or I watch a lot of movies where they make stupid choices and you're like, well, that was just the dumbest thing ever. This isn't necessarily all of that, but it's definitely enough where it sort of takes the shine off of it. Just enough so that it's certainly better than your average horror that you'd find on like Shudder or Amazon Prime or Hulu. But it certainly doesn't rise to the level of like your Babadooks or your It Follows, or some of the sort of better, kind of more complete horror movies that are being released in the last couple years. So it's solid, some great looks and feels and performances, but it never quite rises to the level where I think it could have been. I'd give this one a B-. Let me know what you think.